Welcome to the Awakened Goddess Show, your source for inspiration, wisdom, and personal discovery. The place to learn from a diverse mix of mentors, metaphysical experts, spiritual leaders, and best-selling authors from around the world. I'm your host, Angela Wilkinson. Join me as I explore the minds of my masterful guests while they share powerful insights and easy-to-use tools you can start using right away. Now, let's tap into the energy of the Awakened Goddess and be enlightened by today's guest. Patricia Iris Kerins has been working as a fully qualified therapist in the mind-body spiritual field for 30 years. She is passionate about empowering the authentic voice of women worldwide. Her expertise is in helping women to find, restore, and build their inner confidence, self-worth, and self-esteem. This enables them to speak up and out, step up and out, with love, trust, and faith. Leading with their hearts becomes their default position. Their authentic voices soar out, powered by divine love. Patricia also teaches and shares how to balance the divine feminine with the divine masculine. Now let's welcome Patricia to the show. Hi, I'm Angela Wilkinson, and welcome to this episode of the Awakening Goddess Show, where we co-create powerful, conscious conversations on the leading edge. Today I have a very special guest with me, and this is Patricia. Patricia is actually hosting myself and my friend, another Angie, here in Scotland, and you have such magical lands, so I want to hear just a little bit about that. But Patricia, she channels Mary Magdalene. And so I'm looking forward to a really powerful conversation today to see what comes forth. So welcome.
Oh, it's so lovely to be here, Angela. Thank you very much. Thank you for asking me to share this time with you and your viewers today. And it's lovely to have yourself and Angie here with Bill and myself in our beautiful Highland home, because it's, you experience the power of the goddess here. She's holding you in her warm embrace, and she loves having you here, particularly people who like archangels and fairies and ascended masters, people who really resonate with the other realms, shall we say. Mm-hmm. So it's lovely to have you here.
Thank you. Yeah, one of the things that meeting you, your energy and Bill, his energy as well, is incredible and so welcoming, and it makes me feel so blessed that when we can meet people for the very first time and have an instant connection with them.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And well, the way for me, I feel comfortable with you. There's no anxiety. Are we getting it right? We're looking after you the way you want to be looked after. It's just like family. For me, there's this feeling of ancient knowing almost. And that's why I was asking you about your Celtic roots, because I thought, gosh, there is a strong connection here. I'm half Scottish, half Irish. Bill is Irish. So it's like you just fit in here. No spikiness, no nothing. It's just lovely, and that's what makes you all the more welcome. And we're just blessed to be able to share with you whatever we can.
Yeah. So let's talk about how you were first introduced to Mary. I want to know, what was the catalyst? What brought her to you?
That's a wonderful question. And it's not one I've thought on before, but the answer came in immediately. And the answer, quite simply, is Jesus. Because for a long time, from about the age of 8, I think I was looking for Jesus. And I looked for him everywhere, in every church in Glasgow, which is in central Scotland. And I would toddle off and explore. And of course, I was a singer, sang in the choirs and things. But I couldn't find him. And I just knew, I thought the churches are not where he is.
Right.
And so from that time even, I was learning then to go within and communicate within. And then obviously life goes on, things happen, marriage, all the rest of that, divorce, marriage again, divorce again. Life is going on, and then I came to healing and learning how to do healing, Reiki healing as it happened. My life brain, I was really quite left-brained, working in a bank and for the government, all of that. So there had to be a great structure for me. So of course, when you get attuned to any healing modality, your psychic channels are being opened the whole time. Mm-hmm. And although Jesus was ever present, suddenly I found myself, my inner world had been open to ascended masters, to the archangels, and Archangel Michael in particular. But then there was this beautiful woman. I never saw her face. Her back was always to me, envisioning within. And I thought, I wonder who that is. Meantime, we'd come to live in this beautiful round wooden house that Bill had built. So these amazing men would arrive. They were all about 6'2", very tall. And at that time, I was learning how to muscle test. Mm-hmm. So I would test them. I would say, you have the look of a Knights Templar. I think you've been a Knights Templar. And of course, they were all about the Magdalene. And they would all be absolutely powerful in that, as is Bill. So then Magdalene, I began to sort of become much more aware of her energy. Then, of course, linking it with the divine feminine. And of course, knowing that we're living in the age where this is coming through, she is the symbol of that. And the symbol of love and understanding and compassion. And of course, there are others, Mother Mary, Grandmother Anna, all of those, of course. But you know what? Mary very gradually just began to turn to look at me. And it was a very gradual process. And then it was as if this huge energy was wanting to come through my body, and my body, I kind of resisted. So, for example, you and I sitting here today, if I were coaching or giving you therapy or something, and she was wanting to come through, I would feel as if I was going to fall off the chair, or, really, it was huge. And my heart would go into irregular heartbeats, and physical things would happen. So it's taken me years to contain this, to be able to channel an energy as immense as this, Angela. And as I'm speaking to you, I'm feeling quite emotional, really, because it's been so worth waiting on. And yet there were times when I thought I might walk away from that. And I'm so glad I didn't, because, well, it softened me totally and entirely, and brought much more love, of course, into my life. But now I have the balance. Mm-hmm. Now I have the divine masculine, of course, Jesus, divine feminine, and then that sacred marriage within, which, of course, and we were having a wee chat just last evening, where we know that wafting about in the divine feminine and being really wafty and all of that, it's wonderful. We're all going with the flow, but we need our masculine, we need our structure, we need that balance, we need the logical. Mm-hmm. And that's where Bill, on the outer level, balances me as well. But I have it within now. And I'm still learning, as I said to you, as we all are, of course.
Well, I think that's a lifelong journey, is embodying all of these things.
Yes.
All the different aspects of ourself, both the divine feminine and the masculine.
Yes.
And so,
And it's a beautiful journey.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes its time. I think when you're younger, it's like, oh, hurry up, come on, I want all this tomorrow. Why am I not getting this? But, and then, but you have a beautiful life to live, and living it well, living it fully, really occupying it, bringing in all the different aspects of you is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's talk about your voice,
Mm.
because your voice has become a tool that you use, and our voice is extremely powerful in claiming our value, setting boundaries.
Yes.
So, what was your journey like with your voice?
Well, interestingly, from about the age of 7, I was out singing and winning competitions in Glasgow, where I lived. And I guess I was the product of mixed messages, because my mum and dad loved that. They were professional musicians, so they loved that aspect. Yes, she'll sing at that party or this. And that was fine. But were I to speak up at the table, if something was going on around the table and I piped up and gave them my tuppence worth, as we would say here, that wasn't good. I was told to be quiet, that we don't want your opinion, we didn't ask for your opinion, and you can be seen but not heard. Now,
Yes.
particularly my generation, okay, we really got that, and I know it went on for years after, because we all teach what we learned, you know. So very much, I can remember being at a senior level management meeting with a great big bank, because I was a marketing executive, and I was the only woman. I was the only woman representative. And so what would happen would be they would all be putting in their pennyworth about what they felt should be happening. And I would find myself getting redder and redder and redder, because inside me I had all these fabulous ideas, but I couldn't bring myself to interrupt someone. It had been so drummed into me not to interrupt. That was a crime. And so I would sit and wait. And then, of course, by the time there was a breath, somebody shut up for a minute, the moment had gone.
Yes. And then they were on to something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, that was my kind of way I was brought up. God love them. And I know they did their absolute best the way they knew how. But there you are. There are the ramifications going through life. Now, as I went through life, I became a semi-professional singer. Sung in the Albert Hall in London with about 8,000 people, sung in some really big venues with orchestras. And what happened to me before I went out and did the singing was, and forgive me, but I would have to evacuate my bowels, my bladder, maybe a few times. And I developed in my bowel a kind of diverticulitis thing, sort of a nervous anxiety in the bowel. And it was all to do with that conflict.
Yes.
Here we go, it's okay to go out and sing to this mob, but the underlying thing is seen and not heard.
Right. Be a good girl.
Be a good girl.
Do what you're told. Yes. Don't speak out.
Exactly.
We don't want...
Exactly. And I mean, it's fabulous. You really get this. Yeah. I mean, and I'm guessing maybe that you had some of that when you were younger. But certainly an awful lot of the clients that come to me, this is what they want to do. They want to find their voice. They don't want to just find their voice. They want that authentic, inner, truthful voice, really, that is going to bring forward their unique gifts and talents. Because we all have that little bit of the bigger picture. And if you don't show up with your bit, then I can't vibrate to my true level. And, you know, and that goes on. So we've all really got to be able to feel free to contribute our aspect. And I'm loving the tsunami of release that happened a while ago now with the Me Too, hashtag Me Too, because women suddenly found their voices, and it's okay for me to speak about the time somebody did that to me or did this to me, and suddenly being heard. And it's being recognised. Now that is a huge shift for the feminine, and that will have ramifications going on out now. That's like the stone in the centre of the pond. The ripples are going to work their way through many different aspects of life, so that hopefully abuse becomes a thing of the past. And yet, in saying all of that, I am aware that we need to find deep compassion for the masculine, for the men, because not all men are like that.
Right.
But the ones that are expressing that, basically it's deeply ingrained in them that women are second class, usable, consumable, violatable, you know, you name it, because it's been going on for thousands of years. You know, it's no wonder it's in their molecular structure, if you like. So
well, and for them, it comes out. It's expressed in the shadow, in the unconscious, and it's like even if things are not verbalized, they can be expressed on a deeper level.
Yes, absolutely. So you know this event that happened, it is going to cause huge healing. Men are going to step back and say, hang on a minute, here's a pattern I have. I think it's okay to touch this woman up or whatever it is, and now I need to address that. What can we be doing differently? I'm not a great one for the going back 30 or 40 years and pulling out the blame then. I do feel it's much more positive and constructive to say, well, in this present moment, how can we heal this with love, understanding and compassion? And that is not to detract in any way from anyone who has been in receipt of that misuse of power, because that's what it is. I mean, I myself, back in the late 80s, early 90s, it happened to me. I'd taken on a new job and the manager behaved inappropriately. And I happened to mention it to the supervisor and found that I was the last of quite a number of complaints about that individual. He subsequently got fired. So on that occasion I did speak up, maybe not to the boss, but to someone else who in actual fact ended up doing something about it. So speaking up, speaking out, being visible, being heard, being seen, all of these things, so important, because women have the answers to this. They really do.
They do. One of the things that, along with the Me Too, there was some almost a little backlash in that there was some blame, and I think that we should address that, because that's not finding your true authentic voice.
No, I totally agree with you. I just find the going into blame, it's disappointing. And you know, gosh, how many years ago it would be Wayne Dyer or some of these wonderful people said, when you point the finger at someone, remember this is pointing up the way and they're listening, and 3 fingers are pointing directly back at you. And so, you know, it's about glass houses and throwing stones. Let he who is without sin at some level throw. There's nobody on this planet's perfect. I've yet to meet that individual. We've all done things that we are not perhaps proud of, even just something we said without engaging our brain, and we've upset someone. So we really do need to take responsibility here and resist the temptation to go into blame. It's more being in the present moment. How can we deal with this with love and compassion now, with understanding? And it's about looking back at the thousands of years of programming, which denigrated the feminine. And it was okay to violate women. Let's be honest, in some parts of this world, it's still okay to violate women. And we all live with that. You know, are we then complicit? There are a lot of people on this planet who misuse power and who sacrifice humanity so that they may gain financially and become megala, whatever you would call them, you know, loads and loads of money, millionaires, billionaires. And they don't seem to realise that this goddess on which we are sitting right now, you know, this beautiful being, this organically growing goddess being, feeding us all. She feeds us all, and she'll have the last word. I really feel that, Angela. I'm absolutely, my energy totally shifting as I speak. You may feel it.
Yep.
Because they can really do what they like, but she'll have the last word. And they can't eat their money. I'd like to see them eating their money and thriving. And one day perhaps they'll realise money isn't everything. I know people, I'm sure you do too, who've got loads of money, but they're not happy. They don't have inner contentment, inner peace. And if you speak to the Dalai Lama, you'll know he measures that beyond any riches that one could have. And I'm totally with him on that. Finding that peace within, finding that inner respect, that inner worth, inner value, inner light. And we women, here's another thing, we really need to be on that, because you teach other people how to treat you. If you've got a pattern playing out that says, okay, I'm here to be abused, it's okay to abuse me, I'm down the pan somewhere, so I don't really matter, come and abuse me, then they'll come in. Yeah, they'll answer the call of your vibration.
Right. Vibration is key.
Absolutely, because that's the tune you're playing. So they're going to come in. So the minute you shift that and say, actually, it's okay to be me. It's more than okay to be me. I am valuable. I count. I'm worthy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in saying that, you can feel the power of that it has nothing to do with anyone else.
Not at all.
Well, and it isn't about putting, reducing anyone in any way.
Absolutely well said. Yeah. Well said. That's beautiful, because that is exactly what it is. Your life is all about you. It's not about anybody else. In fact, if we could all get out of everybody else's business, we'd all be a lot happier. And I say that to a lot of students and clients as well. We just need to pull our power back. Because we as women spend our lives, it's, if you've got a nice bowl of energy to start the day with, fill it up with water, you're all powered up. And you go out there and I'll give some to that one, I'll give some to that one, blah, 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 blah. So before you know, your bottle's empty, nothing left for you at the end of the day. They're all feeling great, by the way. They're all having a great time. You're down the pan. Now, if I said that in Glaswegian, I don't know if you'd get it. Down the pan, we're down the pan. Billy Connolly type stuff. But it's like we've got to step up, power our voices up. And then, of course, self-talk. You're saying, do you hear how powerful? Of course it's powerful. So what are you saying to yourself every day? Oh, I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if I could do that. She could do that. I don't know if I could do that. Do I know how to work all this technical stuff to be able to record this? Oh, I don't know. And we put ourselves down.
Yes.
And really, we could also choose to say, actually, I know what I'm doing. I'll just put that plug in there, this in there, and it will all flow. And that way, you see, there's a difference, isn't there? You build yourself up. So we all have that power. So it's all about you. You've really got to get a hold of your life, your purpose. I mean, I'm passionate about helping women finding this power within, goddess power.
So I know that so many people, women especially, have no idea what that feels like.
No.
So can you describe, how do they know that they're there, or that they're touching it or embodying it?
You ask some really good questions. It's good because you're making me think.
I channeled this.
It's lovely.
Thank you.
It really is. Okay, how would you know?
What does it feel like? What are the qualities?
I think it gives you a feeling of confidence and a feeling of inner knowing. But then there's the acknowledgement of that. How many times do we contradict ourselves? We've got a gut feeling about a person or a situation or a job or a relationship. But what do? No, we don't listen to that. Let's override that.
Oh.
Let's go down that route and have a whole kerfuffle further down the route. Or we listen to it and acknowledge it. And the power and strength in that is phenomenal. And, I've been speaking to one of our friends today whom I know is really acknowledging this inner knowledge, inner knowing about a situation, and it's giving her immense power. And we're doing it. We're doing it moment by moment. Mm-hmm. But it is, and it raises your self-esteem, because just doing it for small things, suddenly you find yourself building and building, so that when the bigger things come in, and you think, well, should I be doing this or should I not?
Yes.
You'll get the answer.
Yes.
And it's about integration. It's about, well, you're saying you're channeling the questions, but if you really acknowledge that you're part of this universe, it's all one, we're all a part of the web of life, and we're flowing with that, if we're in the flow of that, then actually the universe has your back. You can't make any mistakes. So it's about learning to trust that. And so those would be the prevailing feelings, I think. How would you feel? How would you know? You just know. I think one day it just clicks and you relax. Mm-hmm. Because you don't need to be in fear. You see, fear and love can actually exist together. They're at opposite ends of the spectrum. So you can't be living your life through love and at the same time be fearful. So choosing love in a very positive way, but primarily to love yourself. And I'll tell you, who taught me that to begin with was Jesus. That's his message, love yourself. What a wonderful message that man came to earth with. Just love, Don't need great big churches and oodles of people, mm-hmm. Between you and that. You're it. You're already it. And you have a direct line. It's speaking to you all the time. It's about opening your hearing to hear the wonderful messages. And some people need help with that. There's a thing that a lot of women don't believe they can do, that they can't channel psychically, or indeed channel. I'm here to tell everybody, you're all channels, you're all psychics. Mm-hmm. Just be open. Yes. And accept and stop fighting it. Yes. Because it causes so many illnesses. It does. It's a shame. Yeah.
We could talk for hours.
We could.
But we're gonna continue this conversation. So for now, we're gonna end this conversation. And for members in the Awakened Goddess Show community, we're going to continue this conversation, and hopefully you will channel for us.
Yes.
And I'm thinking of some sort of embodiment of this conversation, like how we can maybe connect with that part, our inner voice.
Yes, sure.
So thank you for this beautiful conversation, and I love how it unfolded. It was very, very powerful and potent, and there's so many messages, and thank you.
Oh, thank you, Angela. It was lovely to share that with you. Bless you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Awakened Goddess Show. I hope you enjoyed today's guest and got something you can start using in your life right away. For more spiritual insights and to listen to more episodes, subscribe to The Awakened Goddess Show at theawakenedgoddess.com and discover wisdom that'll change your life.